How often do you test your soil there, Francis?
For pH, I test almost on a monthly basis, and like I said, it's consistent. And we've got over 300 tests, and those run all the time because a pH test is incredibly cheap. Unsolicited plug. Get these pH hydrion papers, range 5 to 8, narrow rangers. Follow the directions on how to use these papers. You can make a soil test for a nickel. And it's extremely easy, extremely fast. It's a wonderful thing. It's even a wonderful kid's toy. You know, well, what is the pH of the snow today, son? Oh, Pa, go out and check it out. Oh, hey, the dog drool there. What's the pH of dog drool? Or what's the pH of your mouth, Pa? Or, you know, what's the pH of that lemon juice we just drank? You know, it's a marvelous tool, but you can get them for about $10 or $15 a roll of 15 feet, which lasts a very long time. Wonderful way to just test and find out.
Yeah, I understand. I'm going to interrupt you just for a second here because we have a caller on the line. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes.
You have a question for Francis?
Yes, this is, my name is Jim Poole, and I was curious, you know, I'm very disturbed about what's going on, and to my mind, Francis, and a lot of others, I'm sure, this would be the news story of the millennium. And has anyone dealt with talking to the national radio networks or public service radio, for that matter, and what came out of it?
Yes, to answer your story, sir, CBS ran a short on those, and it hit the airwaves, and then it got confiscated for some reason. We don't quite know why, but CBS ran it out of Atlanta, and that video was captured and went viral. So look at the CBS story that's there. General ABC, CBS, NBC have not run this yet, and we're kind of wondering why, but we think what's going on is there's a lot of big money at stake. You're talking billions of dollars here from very powerful industries such as aluminum, evergreen aviation, government agencies themselves to clean this up or to even stop it would, one, take a lot of money to stop it, and two, the military spends, for our reckoning, over $3 or $4 or $5 billion a year to spray this stuff, you know. And if the military didn't believe in global warming, then why in the world are they spraying? And to quote the movie DVD that's out, what in the world are they spraying? So the answer is, we're not sure why they're not picking this up. The data is there.
Based upon what you just said and your conversations, obviously, with a lot of other people around the country, has there been any thought or direction about what one can do to try to get this out in the public, you know, other than, you know, just talking like we're talking now?
What's happening is people all over are saying, well, maybe this is true, which is what happened to me. I looked at my garden, looked at a few pH tests, and said, why should that change so rapidly? And so what I would suggest people do is get a roll of pH papers, hand them around to your neighbors, start checking yourself. Set out a National Weather Service rain gauge like I have, according to directions. Check the water yourself. You know, don't just believe me. Run your own chemical test. Although I have to admit it does cost around $20, $25 per element to run these tests. And when you get a big panel of about 12 to 16 elements at once, you get the Wells-Box signature comes through loud and clear. And if you just run something straight and simple like aluminum, barium, strontium, or even just aluminum, this should be in single digits. Normal in rainwater is 0.5 of a microgram per liter, and we're getting hundreds and thousands quite consistently over most of the country.
Wow, that is just astounding that it's that high.
It is rather amazing, but remember, there's big money behind this, and we think that this is just going to have to keep on spreading the word like we're doing now, because this is the powers that be that's doing this, and they would rather do this than the more practical ways of reducing global warming. They'd rather spray a sun shield over our skies with the jet planes than do conservation or change from Peabody coal to wind generation, or change from oil burning to maybe we ought to do like we're doing now and have conversations via the internet rather than flying cross-country to visit with another CEO face-to-face. Maybe they should do it on internet or by phone instead of flying.
Well,
Stuff like this.
On that note, thank you, Jim, for your question. We are going to have to take a break to listen to our...
And thank you all very much, too.
You're welcome. Francis, one of the things that you and I spoke a few days ago, and you indicated that you also contacted NASA and the Air Force, and that they had some response for you?
Oh, yes, the response from those agencies, they were contacted by our group. I have contacted the USDA and various county air quality control boards and water quality control boards independently. And the official word from those big organizations, they said, our data says that the jet contrails are nothing but carbon dioxide and water, and our data is better than your data, so go away. That's it in a nutshell.
So they wouldn't even entertain your studies?
No, they would not look at the laboratory results.
Oh, interesting. Well, I understand we have our caller on the line again. Are you there?
Hi, yes. My name is Sharon.
Hi, Sharon. You have a question for Francis?
Yes, I do. In a recent test, my granddaughter showed up with a really high level of barium in her system. Now, she's only 10 months old, so how is that going to also affect the human body? We assume this has come from the chemtrails.
I would be very interested in what the aluminum level was in her, too. All we can say about this is that it will have effects. We do see high rates of autism, Alzheimer's, and some things that we absolutely do not know what's going on. You know, we've never done this before. This started up about 1999. We simply do not know what's going to happen, but we don't think it's going to be good for you to have lots of aluminum, barium, and strontium in your body, and the children and the elderly will pay especially hard for having this done to them by these military-industrial complex contractors.
Is it something most people should begin possibly testing for and then doing some chelation or something to get it out of their system?
Yes, I believe that these various testings should be done more often so that people can, ask the question, where did I get all this aluminum? Or where did I get all this barium from? And the answer is, we think it's chemtrails because it's so widespread. We think it's the geo-engineering by Evergreen Aviation and the military that's doing the most of it. We have enough proof to say that's it, but we really don't know what the long-term effects are because we've never done this to a human population before. We really don't know. We're our own guinea pigs in a grand experiment by the powers that be, whatever they are.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your response, and we're going to stay on top of this for her health and her growth. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Can I just insert something about chelation? She mentioned that, and there are certain things you can do to pull heavy metals out of your body. Cilantro, juiced cilantro, blue-green algae, kelp, wheatgrass, all of these help to pull heavy metals out of the body.
Thank you, Susan. That's good information for people. And if you want to find out more about chelation, just Google it, and you can learn about that. So, Francis, where do you think we go from here with this?